Hi, and welcome to another digital book talk with Massanutten Regional Library. Today's book talk is for our middle grade readers, anywhere from 3rd grade on up through 7th grade. And today we are focusing on crafts and all kinds of crafts, from cooking to things you can do without sewing to Legos, anything that falls in that range from 641.5 on down to 759, my craft section. Minus the fact that there are comic books in the middle, but the crafts are there too. So let's start with knitting. So I've got 2 knitting books for you today. The first one here, Cool Knitting for Kids. So this one starts with things about needles and the size of needles and explains some of that information, how to read the yarn labels, and then has close-up pics of how to do certain stitches. All kinds of good information that those of us who have never knitted before, like myself, would need to know. But I just thought this was a neat project in here, so I'm going to show you this one. And this is the Peekaboo Mitts. I think part of me thought it was neat because it's been so cold recently, and I know I could have used some gloves when I was sitting at my computer. So I just wanted to share that one with you, Peekaboo Knits. But like I said, it's got information about yarn weights and how to getting into the task of knitting, and the needles, how to read the size on them, all of that good information. This book also explains about yarn and the different weights of yarn. If you haven't knitted before, you may not have realized that all yarn is not the same, and that you do need to think about the type of yarn that you're using and the weight. It also shows us how to do different stitches specifically. And some of the projects in here include how to make a pillow, starting with these squares that they've taught you on pages before and then moving on into making a pillow. Or a purse. You want to make your own purse? Want to make a purse to give away to somebody for the holidays? You might still have time to get that project done before it's time to give that gift. Or, in this case, a nice scarf. So all kinds of different projects in these 2 knitting books. There are more knitting books out there for you to look at. This was just an example of some of them. Moving on over here, accessories still, but origami accessories. So now we're going to talk about making them out of paper, folded paper. So once again, here's an idea for a scarf, but it's made out of folded paper instead of being knitted. So maybe this one's easier for you. Maybe the materials are easier to get. Maybe it's just more attractive than learning how to knit. Bracelets, how to make different bracelets. And another example in here, sunglasses. Who knew? You can make your sunglasses. I don't think you're going to be able to see through them, but you can make your sunglasses out of paper and do origami folding. Maybe this origami folding's a little advanced for you. Maybe you'd like to try something different. Maybe you have younger siblings at home and you need present ideas. You need ways to keep them entertained for the next few weeks while school's out and everybody's home together. So how about an origami farm? The book starts with some information about the different symbols used when you're learning to do origami, and it's showing you the actual folds, some basic folds that are going to be used in this book. And since this is origami farm, you've got cows, goats, chickens, all kinds of things to make a small farm, and lots of toys for your siblings. I thought the owl was pretty neat. They seem to go from cow to owl, being easiest to hardest there. Maybe you don't want to make stuff for your siblings. Maybe you'd rather learn about folding planes and have more airplanes for yourself and different kinds of airplanes. So this one is folding paper airplanes with stem. And they've got this done up into different levels. So you have beginner level projects, novice level projects, advanced level, and expert level. So there are all kinds of levels for anybody, whether you folded a paper airplane before or not, all kinds of different things and different types of airplanes. They teach us about techniques and terms that are used in the book when you learning to fold. Always important to know what they're talking about before you start trying to make something. So in the beginning level, we've got a spinning blimp. It's a type of flying object. So we have a spinning blimp, but we also go up to things like the vampire bat. Feels a little more Halloween-y, but who doesn't want a bat at some time in their life? The hang glider and the fighter jet. And these are just a few examples that I picked out from here. Obviously, there are a lot more, but different levels for everybody. So all kinds of origami fun there. Next up, for our Lego enthusiasts, I just picked one of the many Lego books that we have. And granted, this one does work for some of our younger kids, and I do have more difficult things out there for our older kids. But the Build It series. And so I wanted to highlight the Winter Wonderland, where we're working on building the snowmobile and the SUV and trailer. I love that it shows, just like some of those directions my kids get in their Legos to start with anyways, it shows us exactly how many of each type of Lego we need, and then it goes through and it gives us step-by-step picture instructions to build that snowmobile. So, like I said, I've got easy ones, I've got harder ones. There are all kinds of Lego books out there. Come in, take a look at them, see what you can build while you have time. I also have some masks. Once again, maybe you need some ideas for presents for younger siblings. Maybe you just need ways to help entertain them. Maybe you want to get into babysitting. Entertaining kids while you're babysitting is part of the job, and having creative ways to do it is always best. So this book, Super Simple Masks, starts out with pictures of some tools and supplies that you might need if you're going to make everything in this book, but it gives you all of that information so you can see these are the things that are used inside this book somewhere. Not on every craft, but on at least one craft. And it starts with some simple ones where you're using paper plates. So jungle animals using paper plates, and then putting it on a stick makes it easy for a child to hold in front of them to use as a mask. Means you don't have to attach anything to the backside to wrap it around their head. Also means you can use it in a puppet show later if you wanted to. This one I thought was fun. Felt party mask, because of course after Christmas, what do we have? We have New Year's, we have the Mardi Gras coming up later after that. So maybe you want to start getting ready for some other parties in the future and making some other kinds of masks. There of course are more masks in here. Those were just two of the examples. And then I have puppets, 10-minute puppets. Once again, these go from the really easy paper puppets where you stick them over your fingers like these, the tiny hero and the teeny ballerina. And so it's very simple, low key on what you need in order to complete it, to moving on up to harder things that you'll need more supplies for, like the dragon made out of the sock. But you know, every library has a dragon because we have library dragons, so you might need a dragon of your own. It's a kid's book. Think back to your childhood. The butterflies on a stick. Once again, using a tongue depressor or a craft stick to make an easy puppet for a younger child to be able to manipulate. Once again, think about anybody you might need to entertain and or make a present for. A dinosaur head out of cardboard. Pretty sure my boys would love this if I'd take the time to make that. Shadow puppets. Remember, it's not just the things that you procure from other places like cardboard and socks, but you can make shadow puppets. All you need is some darkness and some fingers to make some shadow puppets. This one, of course, is the turkey. Paper bags. We've been giving you craft things, or we have craft things available if you didn't know it at our libraries, and they come in paper bags. When you're done making the crafts, take the paper bag and turn it into a puppet. We've had so many by now you could have an entire farm if you wanted to as well. And another idea in here, it also goes on to talk about making your stage, because once you have all those puppets, you need a stage for your puppet show. So different ideas of how to create that stage from things you have at home by simply using the table. Ask mom and dad first before you turn their table upside down and use it. But those are just a few ideas of puppets and masks and Legos and different things you can do at home. Okay, now let's talk about some things you can do with t-shirts. This one is cool Refashion t-shirts, fun and easy fashion projects. So I like that this one includes some tips, like use chalk to draw the cut lines on your fabric before you actually cut it. That way you can see where you're going to make the cuts and you can try to help eliminate mistakes, because of course once the t-shirt's cut, and if it's cut to the wrong size, there's really no fixing it, especially if it's too small. I like this project in here. Taking a pair of cheap flip-flops and jazzing them up, adding t-shirt material so that you go from that plain rubber piece on the flip-flop to making it more colorful, probably also softer and easier on your toes. And then they went and added it so you'd be able to tie it around and make it more gladiator-like in my head, but I'm sure you all have a word for that. So t-shirt flip-flops or bracelets. So making bracelets out of your old t-shirts, how to braid it and how to then finish it off to make the bracelet. And there are other things like a necklace to go with it. So there are lots of different projects in here using old t-shirts. This one is also no-sew. So no-sew headbands and belts and other accessories. Things like taking a placemat and making a purse out of it. You don't have to take mom's placemat at home that you don't like, that you don't want to see again, but find something that you do like the pattern of and making your own purse out of that. Or how to make belts, earrings, tassel earrings. So you make a bracelet or a necklace out of here. Maybe you have leftover t-shirt material. You can make some earrings yet too. This one was fun. This one's reusing things, reusing the tabs off of your soda cans and making a soda tab bracelet out of it. I thought that one actually looked kind of pretty. I think it's because it's shiny and purple, but I like that one. Moving past that, some of us are just Star Wars enthusiasts, or some of us live with people who are Star Wars enthusiasts. So once again, maybe you need to be thinking about presents to be making for other people to give away this holiday season. I just picked some different things in here to show you, to highlight, like the Yoda felt doll. I happen to like Yoda, so I thought it was kind of cute. A Chewbacca tissue box cover. Decorate your bathroom. Make it more fun. Who needs a plain old tissue box sitting there? Let's make it into Chewbacca. Or maybe you need a pillow. So how about a Jabba the Hutt body pillow? Who needs a plain one when you can sleep with Jabba the Hutt at times? Or how about things for the holidays, like taking and making a Hanukkah droidal or a missile TIE fighter? The Wookiee birdhouse. I'm not sure how many birds will actually enter that birdhouse, but if you're a Star Wars enthusiast, I think you might have fun with that in your backyard. Or if Dad is a Star Wars enthusiast, maybe this is the Christmas project to make for him. And then of course, hey, you've made bracelets and necklaces. You might need a hat yet, so why not an Ewok fleece hat? There are a ton of projects in here. I just picked out a few to highlight, but knowing how many people love Star Wars, I had to point out that we have a Star Wars craft book that you too could borrow and use at home. How about rubber bands? Rubber bands, they're cheap, they're easy to come by. lots and lots of different things in here with rubber bands. Some of them, of course, are bracelets and different things, different types of bracelets, rings, but then some of them are fun to play with, like the rubber band powered boat, or there was a rubber band powered something else before that. The catapult airplane. So once again, airplanes, but now add some rubber bands and make it a catapult. Some dyeing eggs, using rubber bands around your eggs when you're dyeing them to help make patterns. There are others in here. There are more things that I know we've made as projects here at the library, like kazoos out of rubber bands and other instruments. There were some other rocket launchers or marshmallow cup launchers and things that we've also made. So the rubber band book is fun, different things to make out of rubber bands. This one is cardboard stuff, cardboard and duct tape. I think at this point we all have a lot of extra cardboard sitting around our house. The duct tape might be the thing you have to work a little harder at finding, but cardboard and duct tape and different things to do with it. So this book includes pictures of the supplies you need to complete the projects in here. And the projects are divided up into different categories. So there is a category called rock concert. And within the rock concert category, there are things like tambourines and drums. There is a section for carnival fun. So ring cap or toss game and other different games you might play at a carnival. Lights, camera, and action. Make your own Academy Award. There's also making your own, that thing you use at the beginning to say start or cut, one of those. Sorry, I can't remember the name right now. And then there's a magician section. So making your duct tape bow tie, because presentation is part of the show, and your magic hat, and then making, let's see, the last one is the box to hide stuff in, your magic box. So maybe you're an aspiring magician and you need some accessories. This might be the book for you. All right, and last up today, we're going to start with drawing books and then finish off with some cooking books. So this drawing book, this series, this is for more of our beginning drawers. It has some step-by-step instructions, and this book has directions for 14 different animals in it. So I just wanted to show you a few here, like the cat, and just what I mean, step by step, starting with the basic of the head, then adding the body, going back to the ears, and it shows you each time as it's adding something. And then it gives you some ideas about finishing it off, like finish the drawing in the cat's eye, or drawing in the cat's eyes using crayons for the stripes. So reminders of little things like that to make it complete. So there was the cat, the lion. Once again, basic steps showing you as you go. The dog. So this is for our beginning drawers. Something a little harder for our more advanced people, how to draw Marvel Avengers. And so we have basic shapes and drawing methods. They explain a little of that. They also explain some things about inking and coloring techniques before they go into actually starting you out with how to, in this case, draw Iron Man. And as you can see, that first step is a lot more advanced than it was in the other book. But if you've moved on to this stage of the game, this book is for you. And so this is drawing our favorite Marvel Avengers. And then our cookbooks, 641.5. So we have cookbooks for kids. They're not just for adults. Christmas sweets and treats. So this one will specifically show utensils that are needed, pictures of them. So if you've never cooked before, this will be very helpful figuring out what in the world is an egg separator. Oh, that's what it looks like. That's what that thing is in Mom's drawer. So information of that sort, basic recipes, candy cane cookies, showing you what you're going to need in the ingredients, laying it out, what you'll need in the equipment section to make this happen. Of course, cooking should happen with adult approval, at least supervision if needed, depending on your age and abilities. Santa's reindeer cupcakes was just another cute one in here, taking cupcakes and adding to make reindeer. Trust me, if your parents allow you to cook and you make something extra, they will be thrilled to have your help in the kitchen. Here's one: plan, prepare, and cook tasty drinks and snacks. So the first one was specific to the holidays. This one has a variety of things in it. Mini wraps. I always like these things when they show up on a platter at a party. So here are mini wraps, how to make them yourself at home. Blueberry milkshakes. So something somewhat healthy. It's got blueberries in it, right? Even if it is a milkshake. And they also do a how-to section. So demonstrating and showing you how to slice, what it means when they're telling you to do this, how to chop, optional ways of doing that, what it is to whisk or beat, and how you might do it, grating. So really skills that eventually we all need, and this is one way to get them and see it explained in front of you that you can learn from. And then the last cookbook here is a Betty Crocker Kids Cookbook. And this one has a variety of different sections in it for different things. I particularly like do the math, something that shows me the equivalents for the different measurements, to have it really laid out in front of me that 2 cups is equal to 1 pint, or 4 cups is equal to 1 quart. Sometimes those are just things we all need to be reminded of, what those equivalents are. We don't all have those memorized. And then it has different recipes in here, like I said, in different sections. So this is in the munchie section, the berry bonanza smoothie. Or back here in dinner, marvelous mac and cheese. Who doesn't like macaroni and cheese, right? In the desserts, some outrageous candy cookies. I might be slightly hungry and need some cookies soon. But indoor s'mores. You can see I had a theme as I went through this book. The point is, they've got the pictures, they're giving you directions, they're laying it out, talking about the utensils you need, reminding you of your prep time, how long, like this one has to chill for an hour, how much it makes. They're giving you all this great information. There are a lot more cookbooks out there in the kids section, 641.5. There are cookbooks for different ethnic groups. There are all kinds of things, different ability levels. Take a look at our catalog, see what you can find, what you're interested in, put a hold on it, call us up if you need to and ask for some help. But these are all in that section, in that one aisle from 641.5 down to those 759s. That's where you're going to find our cookbooks and all of these different kinds of crafts and other crafts that I haven't highlighted. Thank you for joining us.